boycotting it. So I also want to tell the Ghanaian people that they shouldn't take the minority serious.
The minority insist their action has been called into question in very strong terms.
We have a power of oversight. And our oversight powers, if you look into our standing orders, it gives us the right to ask ourselves questions. I think that they should bury their head down in shame. It's a very unpopular decision by the leadership. I know their side is divided about it.
As the House readies itself to rise in 2 weeks and also have the presentation of the media review, is the majority expecting the NDC MPs to partake in the finance minister's presentation?
Maybe I'll grant the benefit of the doubt. I hope they will show up. If they don't show up, we'll go ahead and do what we have to do.
But why are the MPP MPs worried about the absence of the NDC MPs when they have 138 MPs on their side?
There are ministers who are also members of parliament. And we have to be practical here. Sometimes somebody is traveling out of a jurisdiction, there's nothing you can do about it.
Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
Meanwhile, the NDC Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Alhassan Suheni, has been reacting to the concerns of the majority. He says most of the majority MPs themselves have been absenting themselves from Parliament and have not been attending proceedings. Here is what he's told our parliamentary correspondent, Komla Kluche.
Parliament is more or less about doing government business.
Right.
And they have always claimed the majority, 138 members. And yet, when we are absent and Parliament is unable to sit, people don't focus on the absence of the 138 government MPs. They rather make it look like our decision to boycott is aimed at sabotaging government business. But where are the government MPs?
In other news this evening, food inflation has been a significant driver for Ghana's double-digit inflation over the last 1 year. As government reiterates its continued efforts to tackle food production to lessen the burden on Ghanaians, recent global trends point to potentially worsening food situations in the country.
With over 54% inflation recorded for food alone in the month of June this year, food prices continue to be the biggest drivers of increasing cost of living for the average Ghanaian. The trend is now projected to continue even further in the wake of events on the world scene. Russia on Monday said it was withdrawing from an agreement to allow grain exports from Ukraine through the Black Sea. The agreement, until this decision, has helped stabilize global food prices and alleviate shortages in parts of Africa and the Middle East. As if that is not enough, the European Union is also extending until September 15 an arrangement whereby 5 of Ukraine's EU neighbors can restrict import of Ukrainian grain. The development, according to Director of Research at the Institute of Economic Affairs, will have an effect on food prices. In a tweet, Dr. John Kwachi believes Ghana must brace itself for even higher food prices as Ukrainian grain supplies are being once more restricted. It is disappointing that we can't produce enough local food to reduce inflation, he said, a position backed by the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union. He believes no deliberate interventions from government means Ghana is at the mercy of global trends.
We all know very well that we should produce enough to feed ourselves. But unfortunately, all our strategies over the years to have enough food to feed ourselves have not actually achieved the results. As it stands now, what government needs to do is to increase investment in agricultural production. But I just wonder whether government has got the resources to do so. And not even only that, the bureaucracy that goes with government in terms of resources to productive areas, particularly agriculture. So I am not seeing that government, first and foremost, is ready to change its course to invest more in agriculture.
All right, let's dig deeper into this particular story. Joining us via Zoom for a conversation on this is Professor of Economics and Finance at the University of Ghana, Professor Godfred Bokpin. Prof, good evening and thank you for your time.
Yes, good evening and good evening to our cherished viewers.
Right, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much does Ghana depend on global food imports to the extent that development in Ukraine should be affecting what we get to eat, at our various homes?
Yeah, that is an important question. You realize that in the run-up to the deal between Russia and then Ukraine, as brokered by the UN, and also with the role that Turkey played, Africa was used as an example that poor countries, particularly in Africa, are more at risk because of the locked up grains in Ukraine. But then look at the data. When the deal was reached and then the grain left Ukraine, they actually didn't head to Africa directly. If you look at the countries that actually benefited from the deal directly, more than 44% of them were actually high-income countries. So even though Africa was used as a care-off, the grains actually didn't head to Africa directly. Of course, to the extent that wherever it went, a good number, a higher percentage of that, or a sizable percentage of that went to China. And about 44% also went to high-income countries. So here was the case that Africa was used as an example. The case was made for Africa. AU sent a delegation to Russia and all of that, that without this intervention, Africa was going to go hungry. Food prices were going to rise that significantly. What happened? When the grains left, they headed in other directions. Of course, to the extent that wherever it went, it stabilized global food prices. To that extent, we'll say that it moderated imported inflation to Ghana and other countries. But to the extent that this was also largely wheat, we know that Ghana, we are not really a wheat-consuming country. Okay, we are not really a wheat-consuming country. Of course, to the extent that global prices, the spillover effect, and all of that will also affect our imported inflation in terms of imported food inflation, then we will say that Ghana would also be affected. But I think if we look at the granular data, then you will see that our exposure to Ukraine in terms of wheat and the rest of them will not be as high as other wheat-consuming countries in Africa like Kenya and the other countries, or even including Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, so you want to look at your food dependence on Russia, and then we want to see to what extent your exposure will be affected by the extent of your exposure. But then what is important is that we should have seen this long ago. Africa has no excuse, and I agree with what other experts have said, because Africa has more than 60% of the world's unused arable land. The two largest and two longest lakes, rivers in the world are all in Africa. Now, if you also look at what food inflation does to us in Africa, the impact is actually higher compared to emerging and developed countries, because in Africa, we spend almost 44% of household expenditure in Africa is on food. In Ghana,
Prof, sorry for butting in, and probably my last question, if you could be brief for me on that. We know, like you mentioned, Africa does not have an excuse. Ghana specifically should also not have an excuse, because this current administration, for instance, had a strategy in place. The Planting for Food and Jobs, for instance, should be able to cushion us against some of these external shocks. Have we done well enough to be able to say, well, we can feed ourselves for a reasonable length of time while we await global trends to change?
Not at all. In fact, the perfect feedback on government intervention of Planting for Food and Jobs is actually these global shocks. If we had done it well, we would have seen the true effects of that policy intervention. Then the important question we need to ask the government is that, where is the food and where are the jobs? This is the time to demonstrate the efficacy of that intervention. As we can see, and like many other flagship programs, it actually benefited the privileged few, while the majority look on.
Professor Godfred Bokpin, thank you for your time and thoughts as always. Right, on to some other stories this evening.
And the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Brian Acheampong, has confirmed the transfer of 100 million cedis out of the 203 million cedis owed members of the Food Suppliers Association. The group has been picketing at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, demanding their arrears.
Members of the National Food Suppliers Association, totaling 300, have been pursuing their money for the past 2 years. The picketing was to trigger payment. At least it worked because the sector minister, Brian Acheampong, intervened and assured them of payment. The leadership of the Minority Caucus in Parliament clashed with the sector minister in their quest to understand what was delaying payment. On July 17, which was the assured date of payment, suppliers were disappointed because government failed to honor payment. The aggrieved food suppliers at a news conference in Accra served notice to government to accept full payment on the rescheduled date.
We are interested in a full payment, without which we will not budge, but we will resume our picketing right after Thursday.
Making a statement in Parliament on July 18, the Food and Agriculture Minister, Brian Acheampong, confirmed the transfer of 100 million cedis out of the 203 million cedis owed suppliers to the account of the Buffer Stock Company. According to the sector minister, since 2017, Buffer Stock has done business with suppliers to the tune of 2.7 billion cedis. In 2017, it was 81.1 million cedis. 2018 was 296 million cedis. And in the year 2019, it was 441 million cedis. In 2020, 467 million cedis. In year 2021, it was 692 million cedis. And in 2022, it was 726 million cedis. Buffer Stock, he explained, has made payment in respect of 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021 in full, amounting to some 1.9 billion cedis, and in 2022, of the 726 million cedis, 500 million cedis have been paid to suppliers.
Mr. Speaker, I have also assured the suppliers that by the 17th of August, as we commence the payment of the 50% 17th of July, by the 17th of August, the remaining 50% will be paid.
But the figures differ. While the suppliers quote 270 million cedis, the Agric Minister says it's 203 million in arrears. Some members who came from outside Accra are still in the capital awaiting payment. The food suppliers are not alone in this. Institutional suppliers are owed since 2021.
This situation has subjected us to a lot of embarrassment from our bankers. Some are losing their valuable properties used as collateral to the bank. Some have even died out of insolvency and misery.
They say they are unable to procure and sew the prescribed uniforms for schools due to the unrealistic rates given them by government. They have thereby given government a 14-day ultimatum to address their concerns and pay the outstanding arrears. Ideally, the prescribed uniforms should have been ready 2 weeks into the first term.
Let's speak to the Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare. Thank you so much for your time. Over the past couple of days, there have been some agitations among various supplier groups over government indebtedness for supplies to schools under the free SHS program. Is it time for parents to take up some of this costs?
Well, good evening. Let me first indicate that this is not new. It's been a recurring situation from day one. For the past 6 years, the Ministry of Finance has not been able to disburse more than 60% averagely of allocated funds for running the free senior school program. And so, while the Ministry of Finance is not disbursing beyond an average of 60% within the calendar year, the natural outcome will be a stockpile of debt. And as you may be aware, some of the debt to the school uniform suppliers date as far back as 2021. So it's a simple matter of government financial might only able to finance about 60 to 65% of the free senior high schools budget. And no one should, tell government that it obviously has to, reconsider this wholesale free approach to free senior high school education, and then begin to concede that parents can support it to sustain the program instead of government alone carrying the program on its neck and breaking its back.
Would you say that this is also having an effect on basic education?
That is the worrying aspect. The worrying aspect is that, in spite of all the financing arrangement government has put in place and the sacrifices government has made by way of cutting down on basic education, goods and services expenditure, and rather moving funds to augment secondary education budget. In spite of all the sacrifices that basic education is going through, we are still having challenges with sustaining financing at the senior high school level. It tells you how difficult and how burdensome the task is. The task of feeding, clothing, and housing, and everything free for both children of the rich and then of the poor. The school uniform alone costs in excess of 15 million a year for new students. I ask myself, why is it so difficult for government to concede that it cannot continue buying a pair of school uniforms for senior high school students in Form 1? Especially bearing in mind that the same parents of these students bought uniforms for them when they were in junior high school 3. Is it the case that between August, when they completed junior high school 3, and then January, when they enrolled in senior high school 1, the parents become so poor that they suddenly cannot buy uniforms for their children again? It doesn't make economic sense. So I think that government should, again, eat humble pie and begin to admit that, look, then the politics surrounding the program. Parents can support government by buying 120 cedis that government is paying for uniforms, by buying uniforms for their children. Okay, so at least for the little things that parents, the average Ghanaian parents, can afford without causing any exclusion, of that student or pupil or that student to secondary education. Allow parents to buy and then save some money to focus on the pertinent teaching and learning resources required to improve quality at the secondary level. That is what I think government should do. It is difficult for government to do it just because of the politics. But I think that government itself has realized that, it is admitting more than it can chew, and that it is time to eat humble pie and then allow parents to contribute by way of school uniforms, PE kits, and church clothing. All these things are unnecessary expenditure, and they amount to over 150 million every year. So government should take a second look at this, and then ask parents to come in and support them.
Mr. Asare, thank you so much for your time. And Kofi Asare is the Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch.
Let's do politics now, shall we? All 10 flag-bearer aspirants of the New Patriotic Party are touring various regions in the country in an attempt to sell their messages to the delegates. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is in the Ashanti region, Kennedy Japong is in the Savannah region, and former Trade Minister Alan Kojo Kyerematen is in the Volta region. Here's a quick wrap of what they've been doing in the various regions.
The flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Alan Kyerematen, as part of his 3-day Volta and Oti regional tour to interact with delegates and canvass for votes, has been trumpeting his resolve to lead the party going into the 2024 general elections. The flag-bearer hopeful was accompanied by the Railways Development Minister and MP for Hohoe, John Peter Amewu, former Minister of Tourism, Catherine Afiku, Yabobia Samoa, amongst others. Addressing the delegates, Alan Kyerematen said he is optimistic he is the only candidate who poses a threat to the electoral fortunes of the NDC in the Volta region.
We want you to look at all of us very carefully. Who is it that is likely that when he becomes the flag bearer can become the next president of Ghana? There's only one person among the contestants. This is what the 6 million people are telling you. Who you can market to the whole of Ghana, and that is Alan Kyerematen. Out of the 10 contestants, I'm the only one who can stand toe to toe with IBC.
He insists the 2024 general elections will be won leveraging on these 3 elements.
For us to break the 8, there are 3 things that must happen before we can break the 8. Number 1, you have to elect the right leader. Number 2, you need to have the right message. Number 3, you need to mount a vigorous campaign.
And away from the NPP, improving productivity remains a pivotal area in helping restore Ghana's current economic fortunes. As experts work to eliminate possible threats to this, the biggest of such challenges is perhaps the hours spent in traffic on arguably one of the busiest stretches here in the capital. Long productive hours continue to be wasted over poor roads. Judith Awatritando reports.
It's a sunny Tuesday morning, and for workers, it's rush hour. As usual, everyone is in a hurry to beat the early morning traffic and get to their destinations as fast as possible, even if it means waking up much earlier. But for commuters who ply the Odoko-Malam route, getting to their destinations fast has very little to do with how early they set off. For them, the tale is much different.
This road serves as a major highway for persons moving from Circle to Weja, Kaswa, Winneba and its environs. Yet the huge craters left in the road have created a sorry sight for regular commuters.
We spend so much time in this traffic just because of that road in front there. It's very bad. And there are always MTTU people there, and nothing has been done about it.
It's been over 3 months since the road got this bad. All the cars going to Kaneshie often slow down, and those of us making U-turns get stuck. If you are speeding at night, you might get into an accident.
They do it often, but it gets paused too often. So that causes a lot of traffic. You can check the front there.
There are several factors that come to play here. Cost of fuel, cost of spare parts, and most importantly, the hours that die away for commuters stuck in gridlock.
Even now, there are noises under my car. I have to buy an absorber tomorrow. Government should help us because we are already struggling.
The road which serves commuters coming to the Central Business District from as far back as Central Region and vice versa is in such bad shape that drivers are struggling to maintain their cars.
We always show you spare parts. Suspension system is always weak. And sometimes you give up on buying because you buy, the next day you're going to come through this road. So you give up on buying.
It's rough, bumpy and undulating. Yet, this is for us coming through only for a few hours of reporting under the sunny weather. So, imagine what the situation is when it rains. Well, now you may have an idea. It's evident that until this road is fixed, commuters will continue to bear the brunt. Judith Chitando, TV3 News, Odoko, Accra.
We'll be bringing you more on the terrible state of roads across the country in subsequent bulletins. Away from that, to the Ashanti region, and 2 people sustained machete wounds following a clash between traders and macho men at Akwatia Line in the Asawase municipality. The bloody scene saw people run for cover.
The clash occurred when some traders at Akwatia Line allegedly made an attempt to halt a project for fear of eviction. It is not clear who sent the heavily built men to man the project site and neutralize agitation by the aggrieved traders. However, their presence escalated an already tensed atmosphere. Heated argument ended in fisticuffs. It later turned bloody, an eyewitness narrated. Some of the injured have been receiving treatment at the Menchia Hospital. A spokesperson for the affected traders, Nafie, alleged the contractor instructed the macho men to beat them up.
And one person used to Takashi by force before court very large no more you. And to almost one person used to force and as your for say Yampino and
They want to compulsorily take or use force to claim the land
The court indicated that we did not properly come before it.
It was later revealed that the project was being spearheaded by the Asokore-Mampo Municipal Assembly. Matthew Emisa, the presiding member, confirmed.
You try and you be a district channel. Say Obantem Kakaka, say na or tries to overthrow a fence and chance down. Wabrana officer Ada Mema so ever. To one of young a fence in the Hindu and as we the cat.
The project is for the assembly. We were here to see how far with the development.
Assembly members. And it's a project,
Calm has since returned to the vicinity.
Still in the Ashanti region, the death of 2 illegal miners at a mining site at Konongo-Odumase on Saturday, July 15, has reignited calls to end illegal mining. For the many times that Asante Achim Central Municipal Security Council has mapped out strategies to clamp down on illegal mining in the area. A report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
It appears there is no end in sight in the fight against illegal mining at Konongo-Odumase. The illegal activity keeps thriving in the area, a reflection of a failed promise by duty bearers to end it. Lives continue to be lost due to the activities of these miners. The latest casualty involved 2 miners who got trapped after a mine pit collapsed on them on July 15. Most houses in this community have been turned into a mining site and are literally hanging. Residents have been engaged in in-house mining for decades. This entails digging beneath the houses in search of gold. Deep cracks have developed on many buildings. In October 2022, a young lady said to be in her mid-20s lost her life when she fell into what appears to be a mining pit whilst attending nature's call in her home. The Asante Achim Central Municipal Security Council has met on the latest development with a resolution to re-strategize and end illegal mining. But would this also be one of the failed promises, or the duty bearers would walk the talk this time? Only time will tell. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Konongo-Odumase, Ashanti region.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. We have business for you right after this. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Gassim, with over 50 years of experience, has various grades for various jobs. The Gassim Extra 42.5N is suitable for ultra-high strength structural application like bridges, dams and high-rise buildings. The Gassim Super Strong 42.5R was made for high structural applications like precast concrete and block manufacturing. The Gasem Super Rapid 32.5R is here for normal building foundations like strip foundation and other ordinary concrete works. The Gasem Super Cool 32.5N is best for all block laying, tiling and other mortar works. Never believe that one grade of cement can be used for all jobs. Choose Gasem Cement always. Gasem, 4 cement grades, excellent customer value. Gasem, the nation builder.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
There are some moments that last forever because they happen only once. Like your very first day, your first day of school, your first successful bike ride. What's your child's next milestone? Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is here to ensure they smile through it all. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture has been keeping children smiling for more than a decade by relieving them from gastric pain, flatulence, minor digestive upset, and teething discomfort. Now, Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN, Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Welcome back to News 360. Time now for business. Michael is with us. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Martin.
What's going on in business?
Well, so you know the media budget review is on the 25th, right? So we are bringing you expectations for various industry players ahead of that.
All right, give us the details.
Straight. Good evening and welcome to the business segment on News 360. My name is Michael Obodu. Straight into our first story now, as economist Dr. Saad Idrisu is making a case for the reintroduction of road tolls in the media budget review. He has therefore called for the scrapping of the electronic transfer levy, describing it as a nuisance task. Speaking to 3 Business, Dr. Idrisu believes replacing the e-levy with the road tolls will not only yield the needed revenue, but also create jobs.
Government will refocus on e-levy, either reducing it to 0.5% or cancelling it as a whole, because if you look at the e-levy, it's like a nuisance tax. It is not bringing in the needed revenue government wants. Government projection was a 4.5 billion a year when it was passing the e-levy, but so far suggestions are that government is only getting, I think, up to 10% or so, which is around 600 million. So it clearly tells you that e-levy is not doing well. And again, if you look at the negative impact on the economy, all the small-scale businesses like the Momo Ventures, a lot of them are out of business now because of e-levy. So government need to really look at that. In place of that, government could reintroduce the road tax. At least it will help. You know, the toll booths are still there. Government could bring back the workers. Remember, a lot of them were kind of disabled workers as well. So it was, in a way, providing employment for all of them. Right now, they're out of jobs. Government could reintroduce the road tax because the whole focus should be on creating jobs within the economy.
Still on expectations in the mid-year budget review, and traders are calling for policies that will cushion them against the harsh economic situation in the country. President of the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, in an interview with 3 Business, lamented the plight of businesses after government enacted some policies to satisfy the IMF conditionalities for a bailout program.
We seek that the government look into areas that will give businesses a respite. Even under the IMF program, it does not mean that businesses have to be unnecessarily punished because we want to conform with the rules of IMF. There should definitely be mitigating measures by government itself to cushion the effects of the IMF conditionalities. And that's what we are seeking, that governments should have some measures that will cushion up our suffering.
Now, Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Nana Amadukwa Esiamaje, says Ghana has the capacity to produce at least 50% of the country's rice and poultry needs. In line with this, the Trade Ministry is currently working on legislative instrument to regulate the importation of selected items, including rice, poultry, and beverages. She spoke to 3 Business at a consultative workshop in Accra.
With the installed capacity and the access to the rice paddy, I think that alone gives us some comfort to be able to produce at least a minimum 50% if we should allow imports of 50%. And this LI, if enacted, will also give investors the comfort to be able to invest in heavily in rice production and poultry production and all other things on the list here. But for the products that we don't have the competitive advantage in producing now, that we consume more, we're going to ensure that we start by reducing the total number of imports that we receive through our land borders and our ports. And as and when we grow in the industry, we keep reducing it.
Let's turn our attention now to the petroleum industry, as Managing Director of Tullow Ghana, Wilson Almontre, has revealed that Jubilee Fields has the potential to produce about 1 billion barrels of oils in its lifetime. The recent startup of Jubilee Southeast project from Tullow's oil field offshore Ghana is reported to have surpassed 100,000 barrels of oil per day, a development industry players believe is a big win for the country.
Recently coming on stream is the first Jubilee Southeast JSE production well. 2 other producers and 1 water injector are expected on stream by year-end to help sustain gross Jubilee production of 100,000 barrels per day. Tullow and its partners plan to maintain this increased level of production at Jubilee over the next few years.
We believe that there's a possibility to recover almost 1 billion barrels from Jubilee through its lifetime, and that puts it in another class when it comes to oil and gas fields of the world. You know, we've invested, Tullow and its partners, close to $17 billion in the Jubilee and 10 fields. It's delivered over $22 billion worth of value to the country in the name of oil entitlements, taxes, and royalties.
Energy strategist and CEO of Eureka Energy Solutions, Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, has welcomed the news, describing it as a win for the Ghanaian economy.
Ghana portion will only increase as in volumes of what is receivable from Tullow fields, and that will have a huge economic benefits, benefits to the nation. The other bits that are actually Tullow alongside, all our IUCs alongside the Petroleum Commission to ensure that they bring in a lot of local forces, a local force in terms of human resource capital, human resource base into the core business of the production portfolios.
The offshore Ghana Jubilee Southeast project made use of local suppliers, and the majority of the offshore infrastructure has been fabricated by local companies, with more than 90% local labor.
Well, that will be all for business here on News 360. For more business stories, please visit our website 3news.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe. Up next is sports.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family, because every smile matters.
New Pepsodent Herbal. Introducing a unique combination of herbal extracts in an antibacterial toothpaste for strong teeth and healthy gums that protects your family and you. Every smile matters.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
With Glovo, you order anything you want, and when you receive it, you celebrate it with your whole body. Because when that tasty grilled chicken is here, the weekend starts. The ingredients for your favorite recipe just in time. And when the cake arrives, the party is on. Because receiving anything on Glovo deserves a dance. Download the app, order anything you want, and track it minute by minute until it arrives. Glovo. Order anything, we deliver in minutes.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA.
Sports segment is brought to you by Bell Pack Tissues.
Thierry Nyan is here for the latest in the world of sports. And Thierry, the Black Queens are on a winning streak.
Yeah, and rightly so, especially for this moment. You're hoping that they maintain the momentum because of what's at stake.
Exactly.
So let's just bring you what the latest is with the Black Queens. And they scored 4 unanswered goals against Guinea to qualify to the second round of the qualifiers for the 2024 Olympic Games. My colleague Billy Shen was at the Accra Sports Stadium and filed this report.
For the Black Queens today, it was job done. 4-0 on the day, 7-0 on aggregate. Now they have qualified to the second round of the 2024 Olympic Games qualification. Now Evelyn Bedu set the tone with a wonder goal in the first lap, and Princella Edubia scored the second goal, with Evelyn Bedu scoring her brace again in the second half, and then finally substitute Fidelis Yakubu scored the fourth on the day. Now, head coach of the side, Nora Haftor, stated that she expected the team to score more goals on the day.
It's rolling much better here, so our possession game was good. Our rest defense was perfectly set, so we didn't allow them to enter in counter-attacks. I think we had a big dominance on the pitch. Of course, the only thing I can maybe judge is that we should have scored a bit more goals out of all these chances.
Now the star of the show, that is Evelyn Bedu, did state that she is comfortable with the role that she is playing at the Black Queens level.
Ordered by my coach. Yeah, she told me to do that runs. I should always find a pocket, especially with the position that I'm playing. I should always find a pocket, and I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Now they are expected to face Benin in round 2 of the qualification, a team that they beat earlier this year by 3-0 in a friendly. And so Nora Haftel will be hopeful of getting another victory as they progress. Bill Lishen for 3 Sports, Accra.
Now, Majida Shimero is full of praise for his former coach Vincent Kompany ahead of the new season. Kompany led Burnley to a historic season which saw the Clarets return to the English top flight. And the Ghana midfielder believes the 37-year-old has what it takes to make an impact in the Premier League.
No, it doesn't, because I know how he works. I know his work ethics and stuff like that. He's really ambitious and he wants to move forward. And I think he learned a lot from obviously Pep Guardiola and stuff like that. So I know he has what it takes to reach the highest, and I'm really glad he did that, because no one expected the first season to take Burnley to the Premier League. But when you watch Burnley before Vincent, they weren't really playing a lot with the ball. But yeah, last season they did really well. Like, everyone enjoyed watching it, like his team. So I know he has what it takes to get there. Yeah, I believe he knows the league, because he plays there. He used to play there for I don't know how many years, but so I know he knows the league and he's ready for it, and I just hope the best for him. He's someone I always like to work with, so I'll have no problem with working with him again. So I'm here. I'm just waiting for his call. Whenever he wants, he can call me.
Now, Manchester United have been busy in the transfer market, haven't they? In the past 24 hours, pulling a surprise deal by bringing back defender Johnny Evans. The Bundesliga has also welcomed 2 big stars. Here's your 3 Sports transfer reports for today.
Short-term deal that will enable the defender to partake in the club's upcoming pre-season games in Edinburgh and San Diego. Evans returns to Old Trafford after a 9-year stint at the club between 2006 and 2015. The Red Devils have also reportedly completed the signing of goalkeeper Andre Onana from Inter Milan for a total of 55 million euros. Onana is expected to complete his medical before being unveiled as a Manchester United player. German champions Bayern Munich have completed the signing of Kim Min-jae on a 5-year deal from Napoli. Min-jae was crucial to Napoli's end to their 33-year league drought, and the Scudetto winner remains keen on a fresh start. RB Leipzig have completed the signing of Xavi Simons on loan from Paris Saint-Germain until June 2024. The contract has no buyback clause next summer, as the former PSV man is expected to return to France at the end of the season. AFC Bournemouth have agreed a 15.5 million deal with AZ Alkmaar for left-back Milos Kerke. The deal is expected to become official after the Hungary defender completes his medical.
All right, so that'll be all for the sports here. We have more sports for you subsequently right here on TV3. For now, it's time for entertainment.
Many people think I get whatever I want because I'm a popular actress. But no, that is not true. Me Ankasano, Adebia mi yebiano, me shishimpe papano. And when I find it, I stick to it. My shishimenya Bell Pack tissues. Bell Pack ewe tea roll. Bell Pack tea roll. Soft, but not weak. Strong, but not hard. It is smooth. Me yusua, me hot tummy. It's just perfect. Same as the kitchen towel. What about what? What me the papaye? What me soaki? Echimu esa pepa. One Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today. Say your pocket tissue, table napkin, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Bell Pack is simply the best. It's just perfect.
Nothing feels so good like Bell Pack.
It's the Premier League, all on DSTV. All the goals, clashes, and moments. All of Rashford, Salah, and Saka.
Their start is getting better and better.
All in the language of your choice, all in HD. Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices.
Get DSTV with an HD decoder plus 1 month compact for 299 CDs. It's the Premier League, all on DSTV.
Mo networks are use no. I'm planning and I'm recharge ya. Munyam faso everyone so. Mabwa, Capre, way. And that's what you madi. Muntian Cabo Detroit. Vodafone say every Saturday, a Brevia Uber recharge from 5 cities El Cobiano. Assigned with seeking up to 20% amount back cash. Our Vodafone cash so. It shock you? What did you hear say? Uber recharge. Say my Vodafone app. Vodafone cash, credit transfer, short code, MOBIA, Ulodia,
Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana Cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive up to 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water, GTP Lifestyled, Vodafone, further together, and powered by 3 Entertainment.
Welcome back to News 360. Time now for entertainment. Hello, Anita.
Hi, Martin.
All right, let's dig in. What's happening?
All right, so Mark Okreku-Mantey has been doing some talking. Oh, yeah, he's been reacting to some claims made by Bulldog. It's very juicy, so let's get into it. Right. Well, my name is Anita Ekia Ekufu, and reacting to claims by artist, manager, and pundit Bulldog that he hasn't done enough for the tourism and creative arts industry. Mark Okreku-Mantey says Bulldog is not the creative industry, and the deputy minister who is vying for the Ayen Suyano seat on the ticket of the MPP added that he does not carry weight.
One Bulldog is not from the constituency, so what does it input to do? It's obvious he doesn't understand politics. I cannot sit in Accra, I don't know any delegates in Menchia. Then I sit here and say, oh, the Menchia MP, Napo, don't vote for him. They don't know me. They don't put value on me. It is the value you carry to the delegates that will influence them. If they don't know you, why would they listen to you? 1, in the first place. 2, it's an obvious NDC member. He says it all the time that he's NDC. What do you expect from him? So yes, he can go reckless sometimes. So for me, I do not want to
directly respond to him.
No, because 1, research is a sample representing the whole. And there's not one person representing the whole. Bulldog is not the industry. Bulldog is not the creative industry. Even when we speak of the people who have achieved in the creative industry, who carry weight when they speak, I'm not sure I'll add them.
And away from that, some Ghanaian event organizers in the diaspora have reacted to lack of support from some Ghanaian artists billed to perform. And in an exclusive interview with Bella Mundi on TV3 New Day on the topic crisis management in the events industry, Dennis Tewia, organizer of the Ghana Party in the Park, pointed out that artists need to understand their role in promoting events they've been billed to perform at.
It's such a shame. This is more of a bigger issue than Ghana Party in the Park. I'm just the reason why I'm putting it out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Artists could take to social media to put out a statement about them not coming for whatever the reason will be. However, you've booked an artist, it's had a whole of 6 to 8 weeks to promote the event. They've not promoted the event that they are performing at. However, they have the chance to put out a statement rather to say they're not coming because of X, Y, Z. Our system between the whole ecosystem is not working, and these artists have to realize that we are there for them. Nobody better will promote you than a Ghanaian promoter in the diaspora. Okay. There are other companies that are now coming into the fold, whereby we've prayed for them to come into the fold. But also do remember, there's nothing better than your organic Ghanaian promoters or your community here in the diaspora. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me, an artist has got various artworks and hasn't posted the events they're performing on. However, they are quick to take to social media to put out a statement saying they're not coming.
How do you expect them to respond to something like this or to communicate to their fans and other stakeholders of their absence at one event or the other?
All I'm saying is that the same way you would take to, the same way you're proud to let people know you're not coming to an event which you've been billed for, use that same energy when you build for it to push it as well.
Do you also face this challenge where artists, for some reason, don't promote your event, even when they're billed to perform?
Of course, we all do, and it hurts. Sometimes, like they always say, oh, like what Don said, they're not promoters, obviously, but it's event that you are performing on. That is really wrong. Yeah. Once you're on an event, we billed you for it, we paid you. Agreement has been signed. I don't need to call you before you post the flyer. If in this Ghana Music Award, you do a nominated flyer with the artists, all the categories that is in, you send it to them. They don't post it. Yeah, it's really nice. Your fans in London will see on your page that, oh, you posted, you said, oh yeah, you are coming. Not all of them, but majority of them don't post it, and it's not good.
And now we are for the entertainment news segments. My name is Anita Ikia Ikufu. Have a good evening.
Wildfires are raging in several areas of southern Europe, including mainland Greece. The most severe fire in the country currently is in the Devinokoria region. Smoke billowing from the area can be seen on satellite imagery. The EU is sending firefighting planes to Greece as the country attempts to tackle the fires. Meanwhile, the Italian island of Sardinia is expected to see a high of 46 degrees Celsius later in the day. There are warnings extreme heat could continue for a further 10 days in parts of Italy. Spain has also faced consecutive heat waves, with temperatures yesterday reaching 44 degrees Celsius in the south of the country.
Before we go, remember to brush your teeth before you go to bed this evening and tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection, because with Pepsodent, every smile matters.
Absolutely. Every smile matters. And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Martin Esiedu Date.
I am Portia Gabo. Good evening.
Is aware that globally,